This is a team simplified manual for the INCOTEX 181. So the first part is powering on. When you're powering it on, you long press the VD mode button until you hear a beep. So you long press this for about 7 seconds until you hear beep. Once you hear beep, you release your hand. The machine will initialize and then it will take you to registration mode. So you wait for it to initialize until it takes you to registration mode. When it comes on, it automatically brings you to registration mode. Powering it off, you again long press the VD mode button until it writes off ready or until you hear a beep. Once you hear a beep, you release your hand, the machine will go off. So we'll power it on again. Once you hear a beep, you release. You wait for it to go to registration mode. So the machine has 5 modes of operation. We have registration mode, we have the X report mode, we have the Z report mode, the programming mode, and the service mode. And usually use the VD mode button to navigate between the modes. You can just press it to shift between one mode to another. So the registration mode is the selling mode. When you want to make your sales or raise an invoice, you have to be at registration mode. And you can usually shift from one mode to another using the VD mode. When you want to enter into a mode, you press total. To get out of that mode, you press SH and VD mode. To get into the mode, you press total. To get out of that mode, you press SH and VD mode. So the ETR machines usually use thermal rolls. The thermal rolls are 57 by 40 millimeters. So to open here, you just pull it like this. To close, you push. So the thermal roll is usually 57 by 40 millimeters, and one side of the roll is the thermal side. So to know which side is the thermal side, you try scratching like this. You look for the side that looks like you're writing with a pencil. That's the thermal side. When you scratch this other side, it does not write itself. So this side does not print. When you're loading the paper into the ATR, you make sure the thermal side faces the printer. The printer is right here. So you just put it there, give it a little pull, and then you close it. Then you can try pushing the paper up to see if it's in place. If it's moving smoothly, it means it's okay. To tear it, just lean it across this cutter and pull it like that. So the other part is the Wi-Fi connection. These ETR machines need to be connected to the Wi-Fi for them to transmit data to KRA. Because every transaction you make should be transmitted directly to KRA. At the end of the day, there's something called the daily Z report that is also transmitted to KRA directly. So to do the Wi-Fi connection, when you are on any of the modes, you press the STL button. The STL button is the subtotal. You press that STL button, the machine will write Wi-Fi setup starting and immediately will write activated. Once it's activated, you go to your laptop or phone or whatever it is you'll be using. You go to the Wi-Fi icon of your laptop or your phone. You look for the serial number of your ETR there. The serial number usually starts with the KRA MW something. So you look for that name in your Wi-Fi icon. You connect your machine to that Wi-Fi. You make sure it's connected. It will connect. It will have no internet. Once it's connected, you go to your browser. You can preferably use Chrome. We have a constant IP address for connecting these machines to the Wi-Fi. The address is 192.168.1.1. So when you go to your browser and search 192.168.1.1, it will take you to a page. This page is written INCOTEX, and it will have the serial number of your machine. You press login. It will take you to this page where there is Wi-Fi connection parameters and GSM connection parameters. So for the Wi-Fi, you can use, for the internet, you can use Wi-Fi if you have Wi-Fi. If you do not have Wi-Fi, you can use a SIM card, a normal Safaricom SIM card. So if you're using a Wi-Fi, you make sure the Wi-Fi connection parameters is enabled and the GSM connection parameters is disabled. The GSM is the SIM card. So if you're using the GSM, you enable the GSM connection parameters and disable the Wi-Fi. If you're using the Wi-Fi, you enable the Wi-Fi connection parameters, and then there's this place for SSID. For the SSID, you put the name of your Wi-Fi, the name of that Wi-Fi you want it to be using, and then at the password, you put the password of that Wi-Fi. So the SSID and the password is usually case sensitive, so you have to put it exactly the way it is, because if you don't put it exactly, it won't connect. After putting the SSID and the password, you submit Wi-Fi, it will load, and then it will stop loading. After submitting, you log out. After you've logged out, you come here, you cancel this, you come back to your ETR, you cancel this setup with C, and then you restart it to see if it has connected to that Wi-Fi. So you switch it off until you hear a beep, and then you switch it on to confirm if it connected to that Wi-Fi. So at times you find that it did not connect to the Wi-Fi. In that case, it means the name and the password you set there were not correct. Maybe one was not correct, or that Wi-Fi simply does not exist. So when the machine comes on, to confirm if it has connected to the Wi-Fi, you produce a status report. You produce a status report by pressing the QTY button. The QTY is the quantity. Press the QTY button. Normally, when you connect it to a new network, you'll find that it's hanging. It tries to look for that Wi-Fi. So you just give it some time. When it prints this, there's this manufacturer server tax rates version. It should have the manufacturer server. It should be able to access the manufacturer server. Then there's the crypto chip status is okay, data and time is correct, C is activated. So when it's connected to the Wi-Fi network, here between the data and time is correct and C is activated, it should write connected to Wi-Fi network. For my case, it did not write connected to Wi-Fi network, so it means it did not connect. So if it does not connect, do that process again.